Getting out of the house driving you crazy? Do you have so much stress wondering, are we going to get out on time? Do you do all the things and still you're sweating getting out of the door? I am here to support you. I am Michelle McVitie, mom, the manager, parenting coach with over 2 decades of experience working with children and family. And I also have to get my own kids out of the door. They're older, but as they age, it doesn't always get better. The main thing to think about is each child is going to be different. The behavior you see is just the tip of the iceberg. So, for example, I have no issues getting my son out of the house for baseball practice or a baseball game. If it's important to him, he will be there. Now, if we're going out to grandma's house or to school, I mean, he's not really that motivated to get out. He knows eventually he'll get there, and being on time isn't that important to him. As long as he's there, he's there. As an adult, I think about this is rude. I like to get there early. There's going to be traffic. All those things that we think about, they don't care about. And then some children are eager to get out, they want to get out, and the other child is just slow. They move around, they're focused on something over here. So, as the adult, it is really important that you check your emotion, you understand your triggers, and that you are thinking ahead. Putting those things into place, like timers and checklists, will definitely help you, but check in on your emotion because how you respond, your tone, your energy can really affect your kids, especially if you've got those sensitive kids, those children with ADHD, for example, that are not that motivated because when I go to school, I get in trouble or I don't get included or math is the first thing and I'm not interested. Maybe you've got a child that's a little more anxious or sensitive. They don't want to go to school first thing because everybody's screaming all the time. And then the bell rings and everybody's screaming and there's so much chaos. I'd rather go a little bit later. Other kids, maybe you're just not that into school. And if I lay here for a while, if I melt down, then I get a drive to school and maybe I'm going to get there 45 minutes to an hour late. You're mad, you're sweating, but it's okay. We eventually get there. I can handle this because I'd rather avoid. So, this is where it's really important that you're thinking about your responses as well. That those kids that are super feelers are picking up on your tone, on your energy, and that can cause more stress. Either they're going to feel it and slow down, they're going to feel it and think, I'm in trouble, what is going on? And then the chaos ensues, and then you two are back and forth and back and forth. So you have control over how you respond. I notice myself that I've got to check myself. I'm agitated. Maybe I've asked my son to get up a few times, and then it's like, I've had enough. I'm going in there. And then he's like, I'm already up. Like, you already came in here assuming to get into a fight. And it's true because I can't hear him. I'm distracted with something else. And I'm just assuming he's not doing the thing. Or he even would tell me that he could hear me walking down the hallway and he would get stressed, right? So that kind of stuff is on me. I know I get agitated. It's usually not just about that thing. There's other things going on. Maybe I have to jump on a call. Maybe there was something going on this morning. Maybe I didn't sleep that well. There's so many pieces. We are such busy, busy people. So it's really important to think about what that morning routine looks like, what can be done in the morning, what can be done at night, and then how do we take the task initiation away. So let me show you a few things that I've created just for this. So this is one of the charts that I created to do and done. There's a bonus on the side that you're keeping track as well, because when you notice good behavior, you're going to start seeing more of it. Of course, with a reward chart, you want to be mindful that you're not expecting that there's a star every single day. So keep that in mind. What's realistic is a reward, and that can be created on a different chart or have it written down. How many stars do they need to get? You do not want to be waiting a whole week for them to get the reward, especially when you have kids that are have a hard time even being good for the day or half a day. So just keep that in mind. You want to build them up for success. I've also added this when I'm done by a certain time, be sure to have that analog clock in place so they can see the passage of time. Then I can go outside and play with my Lego. Maybe watch a show as long as they're going to be able to interrupt that show and not watch the whole thing, or that they won't just continue wanting to watch more and more and have a hard time getting off electronics. A lot of parents just say no to electronics in the mornings, especially, and sometimes even during the week. Especially a child with ADHD, for example, they are get stuck in that like fight mode, so that fight, flight, and freeze mode. They get stuck in fight mode when they're playing video games, so it's really hard for them to shut down and move on. So if that's the case, not a good motivator. But what is it that they want to be able to do? What are the expectations? So this may be too many. I created this one for an older child, but make their bed, pack lunch. This could be something that's done the night before. So even packing lunch could just be that it's going into their backpack, or that they're putting the food that was done the night before into a bag. Then we're checking time, making sure that we're helping them with time management. Children with ADHD actually have time blindness. I don't have ADHD, but I struggle with time management, and something that I think is going to take 20 minutes ends up taking me 30 minutes. Then I see something that I want to be looking at, or I start cleaning the fridge and I think, what am I doing? I need to get out of here. And I'm an adult, so just think about that for your kids. Then we've got the backpack, pack the backpack. I have a separate chart for that, what goes in the backpack. So really trying to build independence and accountability. And then pick a chore. So this could be a little ambitious for some people, but if you are wanting them to pick that chore, you can have a list. Again, another chart that I created, but give them a choice of what they can do. That chore could be simple, like feeding the dog or taking something out to the recycling bin. Unloading the dishwasher might take a little bit longer, but it could be just a few simple things or one simple thing, and you're just building that into the routine. I hope that helps. Check out my Etsy store, and also I have charts on momthemanager.ca, because this just makes it easier, less nagging, less complaining, and you're building life skills. You got this. Let's connect. Check me out at momthemanager.ca.